yesterday that I was sick. The night before yesterday, I thought maybe, but yesterday I knew for sure. And the last time that I got sick was Thanksgiving of last year. And the last time that I got sick before that was September of last year, which used to be normal for me. I used to get sick every month or two, and I got pretty fed up with it. So September of last year is when I started drinking one kombucha every day, and I swear it has made all the difference in terms of healing my immune system. This is not medical advice, but anecdotally, it's been almost a year since the last time I got sick, and I used to get sick at least once every 2 months, and come down pretty hard, but this is not bad. I already feel like 50% better. Like my throat doesn't hurt anymore, so that's cool. So I do have some water off to the side, and if it looks kind of weird, it's actually because I have put liquid IV plus immunity electrolyte powder in it. And I don't really know how much that works or if it does anything at all, but it's kind of nice to be able to tell yourself that you're trying, you know, that you're doing something. Anyway, so if you saw my community post that I made like 2 weeks ago, that would have been the last time that you heard from me. I posted some photos of tacos because I decided kind of at the last minute, not on a whim, but at the last minute, that I was going to go to Mexico City. Being from San Diego and now living in Minnesota for my job, I am constantly miserable and sad that I can't eat good Mexican food anymore. And I don't want to hear any Midwesterners in the comments trying to convince me that there's good Mexican food in the Midwest, because there's not, and I have that on authority. And by authority, I mean I have that on my experience as a lifelong Californian, and also my best friend who was an ex-lifelong Californian, also Mexican, who now lives in the Midwest also, and is struggling miserably just like me. And it is with that friend and his girlfriend that I have been talking for months about taking a trip to Mexico City to like just eat. Those two friends of mine don't work in aviation, so their schedules are a lot more set in stone than mine are, than mine is. And they don't work at the same company. One of them just started a new job, so it was gonna be a long time before vacations accrued over there. And also, synchronized. Whereas with me, I can kind of go wherever, whenever. So, as a flight attendant, one thing that I have to do on a regular basis, and the frequency is per an agreement with my airline and the FAA, that I need to go, as with every other crew member, to the training center, either in Atlanta or Salt Lake, with regularity, to go to our continuing qualifications event, basically where you demonstrate and prove that you can do your job. Long story short, and it's all the same everybody's always fine. They just like to stress, and I'm no different. So, I had that at the end of September, followed by a long weekend, and I thought, I'll go. And it turned out that my two friends weren't going to be able to go, so I wasn't really getting that enthused about it, partially because of the stress of the event, not having my friends to go with me, and just the way I generally do not like to plan things. I just like to just go. So, I finished the event, and after that, all the stress was like immediately gone, and I started to think with some excitement about going on this trip. And so I had one more upcoming trip for that week in my schedule, and I let fate decide. I tried to trade off of it, which only works if the coverage in the system will allow you to excuse yourself from your scheduled days, and oftentimes, as of recent, it hasn't been working, and I didn't expect it to. So I said if I can trade off of this, then it means I'm supposed to go. And sure enough, as I sat there at my gate waiting to fly home from my qualification event, it traded immediately. So I flew home to Minneapolis. I stayed up all night packing my small backpack and everything that I would need, watering my plants, getting the cat set up, and in the morning I flew to Mexico City, and I booked a hostel for myself on the way there, and then I just ate. I pretty much only ate. That's all I came to do. I had 40 different tacos from like 19 different places plotted on a map that I wanted to eat. And they were all incredible. The best two were the squash blossom and cheese taco on a fresh blue corn tortilla from Jenny's Quesadillas, which is a little street vendor, and the amazing and incredible best bite I've had in a long time, lamb barbacoa with lamb chicharron and lamb consomme. Tacos that I had that were just like I will be going back for quick trips to Mexico City just to eat like those tacos. And the trip was so much fun. I'm really not a fan of hostels, but this one was really new, really nice, very quiet after quiet hours. Everybody was there with like the same kind of vibe in mind for their travels. It seemed like there were a lot of like remote workers staying there, and there was a bar and a kitchen, and everybody who wanted to keep drinking after the bar closed at 11, they all hit the town together, so the noise left and I was able to sleep. And the staff at the hostel was really helpful because even though I did only intend to come to eat, I had a couple of like potential day excursions that I could do in mind. Just in case. So, like one day I went to the Museum of Archaeology and the Botanical Gardens over there, right by the museum, and then I went to the Teotihuacan pyramids, and the hostel staff was really helpful in helping me like figure out the bus routes, because surprisingly I spoke enough Spanish to get by the entire time during my trip without needing to use Google Translate. But one thing I'm very bad at is directions. But I went to the pyramids one day, and the next day I went to Las Grutas in Tolantongo, enough money for camping, so I got a tent right along the river, because what it is this natural oasis, right, where there is a huge geothermic cave with one big giant mouth and water flowing out of it that feeds this river. Geysers from the ceilings, and in the big mouth of the cave there's a smaller tunnel mouth that you have to swim through against the current, holding onto a rope, and it lets you out into another set of cave rooms with just more geysers that are spitting out hot water at high pressure because of how much is coming out, how quickly it's coming out. And you just go in there and you roll your shoulder and your back, anywhere that has pain, you roll it into these waters, and it's like an amazing aquatic massage. Like, I was convinced I would never be sore again after leaving there. And I camped right along the river. There's a tunnel right next to the cave. It's really cool. And then there's some man-made hot springs and some natural hot springs. And the natural hot springs cost another 100 pesos, which is super cheap to go do, but I was out of cash. And I could see them from where I was standing, and I could promise you I wanted to do nothing more than just hang out in that cave. It was the coolest thing. I loved it. But here's what happened. At the second bus stop in Ixmiquilpan, where I got on the second bus to get there, there's a woman selling water shoes and waterproof phone sleeves on lanyards, which are two things that I very much needed and didn't have. Now, I didn't know about the roll-top waterproof bags until I was in Thailand in April at the Songkran New Year's festival, which is celebrated by having a giant water festival throughout all of Thailand. And I had bought one of the waterproof phone sleeve lanyards from a souvenir shop and used it for like 3 days worth of Songkran parties, and also took it with me for 3 days of scuba dive training because I got certified in the mornings and then went back in the evenings during Songkran, so just like 3 days of water. And I had those phone lanyards with the sleeves, which is exactly what this lady told me at the bus stop. And it worked. In Thailand, it worked. And I intended to buy a roll-top waterproof bag because I had seen the kids at the hostel I was staying at in Thailand use those, and they work better and they feel safer and more secure. And then I forgot to ever buy one, but it worked. The waterproof lanyard case thing worked while I was in Thailand, so I figured it would work here. Sorry, I had to sneeze. But, so I bought it, and I got my tent set up right along this river, and immediately I go in the river, and the phone case is holding up. I got like 3 really nice pictures of the river and just the expansive valley and all the green. And then I started to notice like some humidity on the inside of the sleeve. So I got out and I took my phone out, and it was quite a bit more than just humidity. The waterproof phone case failed me, unfortunately. There was so much water in there, but my phone was still working at the time. So, I mean, the main reason why I even wanted the lanyard thing was so that I wouldn't have to leave my phone inside the tent, because I can't lock the tent, and I kind of need my phone to get back. But I left it in the tent to try to just dry out because it was still working, right? And then I went to explore the cave. I came back hours later. Phone is toast. Phone does not work anymore. Won't turn on. It's dead. Dead. And I don't know. I really don't know what to do. But I am out of cash. And this place is cash only. I used United States currency to go to like a little mini mart located in the resort. Talked to the lady, and I was like, with my, poor level Spanish, I was like, can I use this? And she was like, yeah. So I got white bread, butter, ham, and 4 beers. And then she gave me change back. And like, when I looked at it, she totally gave me like a way more fair conversion rate than like the ATMs even were giving me. She was a real one. She really came through for me because she gave me my change in pesos, so now I had more of the currency that I actually needed. Still was not enough currency to do anything other than rent the tent, so I didn't have any padding, blankets, sleeping bags, or anything. It was a very cold night. Very cold and uncomfortable night. That undid all of the amazing work that the aquatic pressure did on my back and hips. So in the morning I got up, phone still not working. I went back to the caves, rolled my shoulders and my back around in the hot water until I felt better again. And so I had memorized the bus schedule leaving Las Grutas back to Ixmiquilpan. And so I took the 11:30 a.m. bus back to Ixmiquilpan. It was pretty hard to find where the bus had dropped me off though, because the instructions on the Grutas website are confusing. You take the omnibus from Centro Norte Autobus Station in Mexico City. It drops you off across the street from a very much smaller omnibus station in Ixmiquilpan, and then it instructs you to walk past, like around Morales Market, I think is the name of the market, to the north side, and like I have no idea where is north, I have no idea. And you're looking for a church. There's 2 main churches. This one's a smaller one, harder to find. You find the parking lot for the church, which is actually across the street and through the market, and in the parking lot of the church you'll find the bus. And that's a lot to ask me to do in reverse without Google. But I knew there was an ATM in the city square, and I knew that omnibus took cards. And it departed every 10 minutes back to Centro Norte in Mexico City. So I found it. I got some more lamb tacos in the market, and then I proceeded to find the bus. Took the bus back to Mexico City. Took taxis back to my hostel, and then at the hostel, because I needed to leave the next morning, so I needed to actually book my flight. The problem is all of my airline employee travel portal stuff is secured by 2-factor authentication. And can you guess what 2 devices are registered for multi-factor authentication. My phone that was broken, my work phone that was back in my house at Minneapolis, and sorry, sneezing again. I was saying that the multi-factor authentication is on my broken phone, my work phone in Minneapolis, and I was trying all day to figure out how I was going to make it work. And then I thought, there's a third way to authenticate, and that's by receiving a text to the phone instead of using the app ping notification on the phone. So I thought that SIM cards are tied to SMS. So I put my SIM card into somebody else's phone, not knowing if the device type and the carrier was compatible. Then I borrowed a laptop from the desk at the hostel and tried to sign in. And wouldn't you know it, the only text that went through while my SIM card was in another phone was the one for the code that I needed. So I got in on the laptop, booked my flights, got all the way back to Minneapolis without a phone, got home to my work phone, used my work phone and my work email to send an emergency email to like my parents because they hadn't heard from me in days, and my friends that I had just suddenly stopped responding to. I had my dad text my friends, and then I had work the next day. So I googled a phone repair shop, and my phone was so logged with water you could see droplets of water behind the camera lenses, and it was bad. So I took it to a phone repair shop, and they said this phone was probably never gonna work again, but it will only cost you $30 for us to take it all apart and let it dry overnight. And if it doesn't work, then you're only out $30. But if it does work, we won't charge you more than $30. And I was like, I'll give it a try. I had to go to work an overnight flight. Anyways, I loved it with them. And then I was getting off work in the morning. I went back, and lo and behold, the phone was working again. Except for the cameras. And obviously I need the cameras to work because I do all of my YouTube from my phone. So then I had to fly to California. We are at the first weekend of October now. I was in California for a planned visit, and my dad let me know that there's an insurance plan on our cell phone plan. Submit a claim. They sent me a new phone and also an upgraded phone because they didn't have any of my old phone. But the memory is like 1/5 of what it was, so we're still working on them fixing that. And then I was just working a lot of no layover trips. And then the one trip that I did work with a layover the week after I was in California was Paris. And I stayed out too late and had too much fun and ate too much cheese and drank too many cocktails to do anything but sleep once I got missed you. And my eyes are still red and watery. I'm so stuffy, you know. But I'm really glad to be able to make this video and chit chat with you guys and just give you an update about what's been going on, where I've been, and I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you found this video relaxing, and I hope that I will see you in an upcoming video very, very soon. Maybe not tomorrow, because I'm trying to get out of my trip for tomorrow because I'm sick. And I won't know if I get rewarded or if I get awarded my bid for getting off until tomorrow morning. So it may not be tomorrow that I upload again, but I hope to see you again soon. And I hope that you have sweet dreams.